To any 911 call operators, what is the funniest 911 call you've ever had? My department dispatches our area's animal control after hours. Once received a call from a guy freaking out because he caught a possum in his house. I asked him which room he was able to confine the animal, and he didn't tell me which room, but said he trapped it in a microwave. I had many questions. Edit. Thank you everyone. I rarely comment on anything, and didn't expect this. First time getting an award too. Edit 2. This is insane to me. Thank you guys so much. I've been dispatching for 10 years now, and have plenty of stories, if anyone wants more. This one is just my wife's favorite story, so I figured people would enjoy it. My kid worked for animal control. We are eating dinner and 911 dispatch calls him. Some panicked lady had called 911 about an owl in a tree that couldn't fly. It had been sitting in the tree for a half hour not moving. Of course it was just before dusk and the owl was just waiting for dark, so it could go hunt for dinner. Then there was the call about the one-legged duck at the park. Edit to at, he actually went to the park to make sure the duck wasn't injured, but realized after 15 minutes how silly he looked chasing after this one-legged duck that was outrunning him. Pre-911, before addresses were automatically shown, a couple having Shreks knocked the phone off the nightstand, and they had the police on speed dial. I thought she was being choked out, so I had the phone company track the address and sent the cavalry. When they pounded on the front door I heard the woman say, "Oh my god, there are 5 cop cars outside." The guy went downstairs and she picked up the phone and said, "Hecko?" I said, "Hecko, ma'am, this is the police. Are you okay?" She said, "I'm fine. We were up, busy." I said I had been listening for the last few minutes, and she said, "Oh, we must have knocked the phone on the floor." The patrol guys told the guy they had to see her in person at the same time I was talking to her. She came downstairs, so they could verify she was okay. They said she was pretty embarrassed. Edit. Thank you so much for the awards. My first ones ever. At a long-term care facility I worked at, one of our residents called 911 with the phone in her room because she didn't get ketchup with her lunch. Not kidding. The sheriff's office called back to let the nurses know what she'd done while I was standing right there. I've never laughed so hard at work. Not an operator, but one time I went to a local library to do work as my home was filled with loud guests. I'm there for a couple hours and I saw I had 25 minutes left. So I packed all my stuff up and brought it to the bathroom so I could take a crap, not leave my stuff unattended, and they immediately just leave. Y'all, they locked me in. The librarians thought I left. The whole place was empty and dark. I walked right out the front door, which was locked, and triggered the alarm. Now, not to throw race into it, but I'm a big Latino man in a very white and upper class part of my state. So there was a real sense of fear I had, lol. I didn't want to be caught driving away from this scene in case any Karens were peeping out their windows. I had to call the cops on myself and explain that I got locked in the library while taking a crap and the operator is dying. Cops show up and one of them goes, "So you like breaking in and taking craps, huh?" I went white as a ghost and started immediately bumbling my words. They brought the whole department out because they thought it was the funniest crap. Thankfully they were cool and just laughed at my dumbness. Not an operator, but I had a friend in high school who got addicted to meth. Years after she got out of rehab she told me the story about how she ended up in rehab. She had called the police on herself because there are demons living in my walls and I'd like the police to come remove them. When she sobered up, she also realized she didn't live next to a pool. That's important because while she was high she would sit outside and watch people swim. She did that for 2 years, even though there was no pool. 112 operator here. I had a woman who wanted to report herself dead. Like not in she wanted to commit suicide. Do not do that. There is help, and if you have these thoughts please talk to people or a doc about this. But she was sure that she died. A somewhat normal middle-aged woman, and she called 112 medics and fire. 110 is for cops, so we would get her a morgue. It was my strangest call ever to tell a person who was very much alive, talking to me that in fact she was not dead. We sent an ambulance for free. Long live the EU healthcare system. In the end it turned out to be a shroom-induced psychosis. 112 from Europe. Man, I can't count them all. A man called to say he's wrestling with deadly 10 meters, 32 to 33 feet, snake in his backyard. He was very scared, and although I wasn't sure how did a 10-meter snake appeared in his backyard, I sent the emergency to the police. They even called him back, but his father answered. The conversation was quite funny. Hecko, sir. Police here. Is this Mr. Y? His father. Do you know where your son is? I don't know. Went to the backyard, I guess. Maybe you should check on him. He might be fighting for his life against a deadly snake. Turned out the guy was a little high and was wrestling with a bush. Dude wanted an ambulance because he needed to check if his girlfriend was pregnant or not. I heard her in the back saying, but my period is over 2 months late. And he was like, no, no, no. A doctor needs to see it first. He didn't want to accept that it was not an emergency and couldn't understand how gynecologists usually aren't in an ambulance. Not sure if stories about people with mental illnesses should qualify, but there are some strong contenders like the Queen of Hamsters. That's how she introduced herself, whose internet connection apparently was cut off because she did not like one of our politicians. But she does now, and she wants her internet back. A man wanted to prank his friend and hid in his kitchen behind sink. He couldn't get out, and fire brigade was needed to free him. That's it for now. Thank you for watching the video. Leave your comments below. See you soon.